Hello folks, welcome in. It is We Were Gamers, episode 463. It's me, JJ. I'm hosting today for reasons. And
anarchy. Pure anarchy.
There we go. That's Michael, everybody. How you doing?
I am doing all right. Hey, friends.
Andy is also here. How you doing, Andy?
I'm using this Kentucky bourbon to massage my throat to get rid of
hot toddy action.
Whatever ails me.
Don't know if that's how it works, but I'm willing to believe it. You tell me it works, and I'm just going to say yes.
I'm of the fashion that it can't make it worse, right? Like, I was told earlier today I sounded like some sort of frog monster in front of multiple people, and so I thought, well, nothing to it but to do it.
All the voice stuff that people tell me is it's like tea and honey are the things that you should be doing.
I've been on tea and honey for a few days, so it's getting better. But
bourbon bourbon isn't like that different from those things, though, right?
I mean, this is Kentucky. Sometimes it has honey in it.
Yeah, they have bees there.
Yeah.
Well, glad you're trooping it out for us, so thank you.
I'm here.
Hey, we have a show for you today.
Boy, do we.
I just want to jump into some stuff that has been up in my life, and we talked about a little bit. I talked about we were going to do some redecorating in my office in here and do some adulting up front.
Yeah, let's hear what you've been up to.
Yeah, so I think I have a plan, and I want to know your guys' takes on this because I think you both have seen the thing that I'm worried about, and so I have bookshelves in this office. I want to redo them, and the new bookshelves I'm thinking about getting are much taller than the current ones. So like, yay, more shelf space, but I also have things sitting on top of these bookshelves, so that means those have to move.
Okay, so there's not clearance for them anymore.
New. One of the things sitting on top of those bookshelves, Lego Millennium Falcon.
This is where did we play the music from that old meme with the gopher?
Yes.
I don't know. Wasn't it like dun dun dun?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yes. I know what you're talking about.
The spinning around like, oh no.
Yeah, the like puppet gopher. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm worried about taking it down, firstly.
Okay.
Secondly, even if I do take it down, where the heck am I going to put it? So I've come up with a scheme. It will not fit on top of the new ones, and it won't fit if I choose to put it in the bookshelf somehow. It's like, I think the weight distribution would work out. It's like it's wider than the shelves are, so it would sit, because the weight is more back than forward. But I don't like the idea of it sticking out off the shelf.
Fair.
So I'm thinking, okay, like where, what else can I do? Do I need to get like a side table or like a low shelf or some kind of thing? And I hit upon the idea of like, well, on the other side of the room, I have this like, desk setup, not a desk, but like a low TV stand thing, and I have a TV and then like my gaming consoles over there, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So
yeah.
What if I took that TV off that thing, mounted it to the wall, or put it on an arm or something, and then put it on that thing, right? Because now there's space on top of that thing was not being occupied by a TV.
That's not a bad idea.
Wall mounting is pretty awesome. I'm kind of bummed out that I have this amazing wall that we put together with old pallets, and the only place I could mount a TV is into that, and I'm like, I don't think that's a very safe idea.
You'd have to, your pallet wall, you'd have to go through it to the studs underneath.
Well, behind that is a bathroom, and you know what's in the walls of bathrooms?
Yep.
Yeah, you'd want to be real careful about drilling into those studs, because the stud might be a water pipe.
Yep. Turns out.
So that's my current thinking, is I'll take the TV off this thing, get it up on an arm mount thing in the corner of the room, kind of, which will then kind of move it away from where it is, and then I can put the Millennium Falcon there, which again, I'm more worried about moving it than I am about where it rests.
Sure.
But I have never mounted a wall TV thing ever. So I'm a little paranoid about how the whole dealing mob situation is going to work. But I mean, it's got an instruction manual. It seems the manufacturer explicitly calls out the kind of TV that I'm using on their website as supported and usable. So, it's not like the biggest or heaviest TV, so I'm not super worried about that. But it is like, I do got to drill big, serious holes into that wall and not screw it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I have never mounted one of my own TVs on the wall, but I have helped someone else install a wall mount and put their TV up. And it's been a while, but I recall that it was relatively straightforward as a process, and the wall mount never gave them any issues after we put it up. So it's not they're not too terribly difficult. I know, Andy, you've got one outside, I believe.
I've mounted many a TV in my life, at least 6. If you have a reliable stud finder that works, those brackets that they mount on the walls there are not like mounting. It's not like trying to hit a stud and mounting a picture. Nothing has to be exactly perfect. You hitting the stud for that huge lag bolt screw is important, because that needs to be in a stud. Really, anchors are not the way to go. But those brackets are made to slide along so like if you're concerned that like these studs are going to make the TV off center, that's not how they work, right? Those brackets slide. So really the best advice is make sure you get the studs and then work from there and adjust as you need to, because those brackets are pretty adjustable in keeping the TVs mounted the way and place you want them. They know that the studs aren't going to exactly line up centered with exactly where you want the TV, so the brackets are made for that. Okay,
so that is one concern I had. That's good to hear. The thing I have is kind of like a movie army thing, so I'm not too super worried, because I'm very confident, since I want it in the corner. Basically, there ain't no stud there.
Well, there is on either side, right?
Yeah, but I'm not going to mount it like flush to the corner. That seems just like a bad plan, right?
No, because then you can't get in there and manage all your cables.
Exactly. So I need to mount it a little bit away and then move it off to the corner with an army thingy, which is what it has, and so I think that should be fine.
Michael, weren't you here when we tried to mount the TV in the back room of this house?
Yes. Didn't we run into one of the studs had like metal brackets?
The bracing system of a demi wall and a turn in the house. I'm not a huge expert in how to build houses, but we ran into, what was it, a 2x6 running diagonally across all the studs.
Diagonally
inside the wall.
It was the most bizarre thing, because we couldn't figure out what in the world the stud finder was doing.
Yeah, it just kept throwing studs at us.
It's like there's one here but then not up here.
Yeah.
Right, and it's one of those things where you would move the stud finder you would move it diagonally down to the right from a stud and be like, surely it won't ping. It kept pinging. So what else are you going to think other than that the stud finder is bad?
It was wild. It was wild. And eventually we just started chipping little holes into the wall to be like, is there a stud here? There's got to be a stud here.
Yeah, so I really don't want to do that, and that's my number one concern, is that I'm going to get it in there and be like, time for exploratory surgery. And it's like, oh God, what have I done to my wall?
You have the right idea. As long as you're not too close to the corner or too close to a window where you're going to have a lot of extra bracing studs.
Yeah, so it is kind of close to a window.
Okay, try and move at least 1 to 2 studs away from that window for mounting.
There might not be that much space between the window and the corner.
You're making this harder and harder on yourself, JJ.
I could try the other wall, but the concern on that wall is I'm pretty sure that I know behind that wall is another closet.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be annoying too, because then you're going to get...
I don't know that there isn't... I don't know that there's even a stud in that wall because it's just a closet on the other side.
There has to be.
So then...
If it's got mounted drywall. It's mounted to something.
Yeah, so I need to... Maybe my plan was to mount it to this outer wall closer to the window, but maybe then
fine.
The plan is to do it to that wall then.
Just don't get tricked is all I'm saying. Do it to the wall you're on, but like if you're near the window and you're like, why is there so much stud here? It's because there's extra bracing.
Yeah, so like, I don't know how far apart studs are typically spaced, right?
16 on center.
16 inches?
16 inches on center.
Okay, so there is more than 16 inches from the window to the corner, but, I don't know if there's 32 inches.
There's got to be, probably. Yeah, you better hope, because you need 4 mounting points.
No, this is a 2 mounting point thing. I have it right here.
But there's 16 inches.
Is it
it's not on the same
left
stud,
right?
yeah. It can't be on the same stud. Is it?
Yeah, it's a top and bottom. There are 2 bolts, not 4.
It mounts on one stud?
Yes.
You know what? That almost makes sense if it's like a cantilevered arm, because you would want it to be able to lean down and hold the weight of the arm.
Okay, but what's the max size on the TV that you can put on there?
So this does say it's for 26 to 55 inch TVs. 55
inches on one stud?
Yeah, also it says up to 55 pounds, which I'm sure most 55 inch TVs are more than 55 pounds.
More than 50
pounds. Than that? Yeah.
Yeah. So, my TV is closer to 26 than 55. So I'm not super worried there.
Okay. Yeah. You have to hit a stud.
Yes. Again, the concern is that I don't want to do exploratory surgery on the wall to try and figure out, where the thing is.
Your house was built in, the 80s?
70s?
Okay. It's probably got normal sheetrock. You'll find a stud with a stud finder. I believe in you. You can do this.
So, look, we have a stud finder. You're like, the thing you worried me with was when you said, make sure you have a stud finder that works. And I'm like,
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We have a stud finder. Does it work?
Yeah, does it work?
I mean, we got batteries for it, so that's good. It makes noises sometimes, but is it working? I don't know if I could tell you that.
Well, so a 2x4 is 1.75 inches. So run your stud finder left to right, find your stud, mark out the space, and see if it measures it at just under 2 inches, and you'll know if it's working.
Yeah. So, this is all the stuff I got to do before we actually commit to this whole process, because as soon as, if we order new bookcases and get them shipped, which it seems like we probably will have to do because they're tall and our cars are not long.
Aren't you getting IKEA?
Yeah, man. Do you want to know how tall the bookcase is?
No, I want you to strap it to the top of a Supra is what I want you to do.
No, I will not be doing that. No. But similarly, I could strap it to the top of our SUV, but what if instead we just get it shipped for $20? That's a lot of hassle. And then I don't have to go to IKEA even. It just shows up at my house at some future point, since we don't particularly care about when.
It's not terrible.
And what, are people going to steal the IKEA boxes off our porch? Probably not.
Not unless they show up with their own Fernie doll.
Yeah, it's like, you guys want to take these? Good luck lifting.
I think we didn't talk about it last week and all the IKEA stuff, but I want you guys to explore this, because for me, it's very clear. Going to IKEA is the experience of IKEA for me. Shopping it online makes sense in your situation, but since I have a large SUV, I really get a lot out of like, I really want this cabinet or that thing. I'm gonna go there and get it.
Yeah, I think we almost always, when we have gotten things from IKEA, have almost always gone, if not just to see it in a space like physically built, but also for the experience of going to IKEA.
Yeah, the difference here is that like I have things in the house that are this exact thing to compare with, right?
Sure, yeah, that
It's
makes
like
a difference.
I already know what this bookcase looks like. I have one in a different part of my home.
Yeah.
So I know exactly what it will look like. It will look like that. And I do agree with you though. IKEA is like a whole trip. It's like an adventure, man. You're like off in the IKEA wilderness and you have to make your way out.
Do you guys ever use the skips or do you go through the whole store?
Occasionally, I'll use the skips.
I
But
haven't. I don't think ever used the skips. I think I walked the whole thing, but I haven't been that many times.
I wish there was one closer to me. I would go more.
Where's the closest one to you? The
South Coast.
is that really the closest one?
North of it on Harbor.
At the turn of the 405 there?
405 to Harbor, yeah.
Wow. That's really the closest to you guys? That's crazy.
They have what they call, Michael, maybe you know what they're called better. It's like a distribution thing where you can like, I don't know why you would do this. I guess to save yourself $20, but you can tell IKEA to put it in Fullerton or like Irvine. They have these little pick it up distribution centers.
Yes, which I have done once, because we wanted something that they didn't have any more of, um, in the store. I'm trying to remember why we did the distribution center instead of direct ship to us. I want to say that it was because if we ordered it to the distribution center, we could still get it same day. They would pull it from one of the other SoCal IKEAs and ship it to the distribution center, and just drop it off there, as opposed to having to go through the process of mailing it to us.
Yeah, I noted their stuff online is very much like, hey, do you want it delivered to you? Okay, here's a list of days. Also, you pay more if you pick a day. If you just say someday, that you save a little bit of money. And how much does it weigh? Oh, yeah, that's going to be more. Like the price just goes up the more weight you put on, which, is like, that's how heavy stuff works. That's interesting. I've never had IKEA delivered to my house before. I don't think. I think all the other times I have gone. I think that's true. Yeah,
You got to get the soft serve.
yeah, or Swedish meatballs or whatever. Right? That's the whole. They still serve those there? I assume they do. Right? What would we be doing if they aren't?
Yeah, they just did a huge cafeteria remodel at the one here.
Yeah, it looks good.
Well, I haven't been to experience a new cafeteria, but there are some other new things in our lives, Michael, and you turned me on to this. I don't know where this came from. Have they been like trialing new stuff on their games situation for a while? I don't know what this is about.
I wish I knew. Because I play the New York Times games in the app, I am infrequently on the game's website itself, so I don't know when this rolled out. I'm sure I could figure it out based on if they roll it out for real, they'll probably put up an archive. But there is a new game on the New York Times games website, Andy. This showed up. It showed up for me last night, and then I know it showed up for a bunch of people in the app this morning, and it is called Pips.
So is it only for subscribed people? Because I play free and I don't see this in an app.
You could try going to nytimes.com/games and see if it shows up. I feel like no, I'm on it now and I'm not signed into my account, and I can click into it.
So I will definitely say that this exact process happened to me last night talking with Michael, Andy. So where he was like, look at this new game. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, it's right here. And he sends me a link to it. And I play it on the website. And I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Well, like if they ever add this to the app, I would definitely check this out more. And then the next morning it showed up in my app.
Interesting.
So I don't know if there's like a login payment situation going on there. It could be, or it's just like if you get like selected into the test group, or like my name started with a certain last letter or whatever. Like God knows how they decide this crap.
It's based on your provider, like whenever the update to the app gets rolled out by your game
I
store
don't know.
or who knows.
But Pips is the game, and it's like dominoes and puzzles, I guess, is a good way to think about it.
So you know what's the format is dominoes, but the puzzle style is. Have you ever played Ken?
Say that again.
Ken.
No.
So look it up if you've never played it. They are. I have always thought of them as a riff on Sudoku. And I know that some newspapers publish them alongside their Sudoku.
Sudoku.
Me
like Sudoku.
Yes. So Ken is kind of like a Sudoku, except the squares are sectioned off into smaller subsets of the bigger grid. And there is one of the 4 basic mathematical operators in the top left corner of the box, and so it'll give you with a number along with it, so it'll give you like 6 times or 5 plus or 2 divided, and the numbers in those boxes in that little subsection have to satisfy that condition. So if it says 5 plus, the 2 numbers added together have to be 5. Or if it says 2 minus, then the bigger number, the difference between the bigger number and the smaller number has to be 2.
That's a little bit confusing nomenclature there, because like 5 plus could mean more than 5.
Well, guess what? You don't have to worry about that because the stuff in Pips isn't that complicated.
No, it is not. So it gives you numbers, it gives you an equal sign, or it gives you greater than or less than symbols. I think those are all the ones that I've seen so far.
Yeah, so I've definitely seen greater than, less than a number, equal to a number.
And not equal. I've seen not equal as well.
Right. And that's all pretty straightforward. So it's like, oh, you can have, or they just put a number in the corner. And it's like everything in this box has to be this number, right?
Including zeros, right?
Yeah, because you can
some
have
of the
zero.
Boxes say zeros because some
dominoes
can be blank.
Yeah, I've only seen numbers 0 through 6. Maybe they have higher number dominoes in the future, but it doesn't really make a difference to the puzzle. It's just sort of what you can fit in the grid. It's really fun, and they have the best thing, Michael. It's so good that they did different levels.
Difficulty levels, yes, an easy, a medium, and a hard.
Making the chef's kiss so good.
So you can warm up into the difficult one.
Because when you showed me this and I played the easy one, I'm like, oh, this is cool. Let me check out the medium one. Okay, I thought about this for a minute there. All right. And then the hard one was like, ooh, okay, I got to try some things. Like, here we go. And then there's also no failure states, unlike some of the other games like Connections or what's the other one?
Wordle.
Yeah, or Wordle, right? Where you can just like run out of guesses or whatever. There's none of that. You can just kind of play around with it till you get it right. So I guess you could brute force every puzzle if you wanted.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Sure.
Because I'm sure it's not comparable, but in my head it's a little bit comparable because Sudoku has easy, medium, hard, and easy is like for me, if I can do it in under 3 minutes, I feel pretty good. Medium is like 10 minutes. Okay. I had to make a few notes, and hard is like, I don't have 30 minutes, so I don't do it. What's the comparable levels of this situation?
30 seconds, 2 minutes, and maybe 5 minutes max.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably fitting.
The size of the grid doesn't grow such that it can get that much more complicated, right? Like the hard one, it's hard because there's a lot of things that can possibly satisfy what goes in what they're asking for, right? It's like, oh, all these ones have to be equal. Okay, well, I have to fit 4 squares that are all equal. How many copies of numbers do I have down here on the bottom, right? Oh, well, there's only one number that has 4 of it. Okay, all of them have to go here somehow. But on the hard one, maybe it's like, well, you got 6 of that number. So now where do they all go? You know, so that's the part that makes it more difficult, right? It's like the easy one has one, put this number here, basically. And the hard one is like, well, you know, there's a lot of different ways you could do this. And you could sort of trial your error your way through it if you wanted to. But also there's like still only like 8 or 9 dominoes. So it's not that many different combinations, really.
Yeah. What interests me, and I haven't, you know, it's only been out for a couple of days, so I don't know that I've seen enough puzzles to be able to answer the question. I am curious if each puzzle only has one solution.
I feel like it has to be no, but maybe I don't know. Because especially the hard one, the easy one, it seems like yes, maybe. Just because there aren't enough pieces to like come up with alternate solutions, probably.
Right, yeah.
But the hard one, I don't know. There might be multiple solutions because it feels like some of them where you're just like, what was it today where you had to get, it's like all these ones in this equal 18 or whatever.
Yeah, the only way that could work is they're all 6s.
Exactly. And so you're like, okay, well, it means these all have to be 6s. But like, I got like 5 6s down here. So like, which other ones, you know? I could believe, especially when some of them, like some of the squares just have no restriction on them. And you're like, well, you know, maybe you could play this a couple ways and still end up fitting the solution to the puzzle. I would believe it.
Yeah, I think it was today's medium puzzle had one row where it just showed the equals and there were 4 empty spaces. And on your dominoes, there were 4 3s and 4 1s. And so that's what prompted me of, I wonder if I could make this work both ways or if it's just.
Mm-hmm. I bet there is. Yeah, I don't know. It certainly would be easier for them if there was only one solution, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could design one that had multiple solutions, but yes, it would be much easier on them to design ones that are single solution. This is the way to do it.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know. There's probably some like, you know, computer program or something you could write that like, you know, guess and checks the whole thing and gets you the answer, like if there's multiple solutions or not, but I'm not going to figure that out.
Oh, for sure there is. You could fill in the size of your grid and then basically parameterize the whole thing.
Yeah, it would be doable if you really felt like you needed to. All right. Well, I guess in an uncharacteristic move for this podcast, we're going to talk about video games.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
There was a big announcement show thing. Gamescom opening night live happened the day we recorded this podcast. Now
opening night at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
It's live for them in Germany. You know, how do time zones work? I don't know.
Yeah, they're in Cologne.
I want to throw up some inside baseball for people. 99% of the time, this stuff happens after the podcast.
This is very true. Usually we record and then the big news happens the next day or 2 days later.
He's completely right. And this is the one instance where it finally happened before the podcast, so we can finally talk about it. Now, of course, the big thing is that they showed Silksong, Michael.
And they didn't even, they gave the people what they wanted. They right out of the gate, they came out with it.
And they said it's coming out this year.
They did. They did not give a date, but it had also already been announced that Team Cherry had a special presentation coming up in 2 days. So
they're doing that. The Team Cherry is showing that in 2 days. So the expectation is you'll get the date there. Also, I think, did Andy link me this? Someone linked me this Jason Schreier post.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I linked it.
Yes, he did.
Saying that he's going to do a big story on Silksong and why it took 7 years and all this stuff coming the same day of that YouTube thing.
Yeah. Did they hire Schreier to do a puff piece? I mean, I'm curious because he's not usually one for pulling a lot of punches. I think he probably burned a lot of bridges with his Blizzard book in the last couple of years.
I would,
but I'd be curious. Yeah.
My guess is he approached them rather than the other way around, and if only because he doesn't seem like the type of person to like do content for money, you know. But you know, times are hard out there for journalists, so I don't know. But the tenor of that piece, you know, the way he phrased it, why it took 7 years, well, that makes it sound like it's done. Are they going to shadow drop this thing on like Thursday?
Not a chance.
That would be really funny, but I don't know if they'll quite do that to people.
Aren't they owned by Microsoft? Microsoft can't shadow drop a game anymore. There's no way. It would have already leaked.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's a digital game, right? It's not like they had to press discs or anything. This is just me. You know, look, you guys know I would like Hollow Knight from the beginning. I've been a big fan. I'm too used to putting on the clown makeup, you know? So I had to find a reason to put it on again. So now I'm doing it, you know? I have to have the copium somehow. This is me doing it again. But I don't know. At least they showed something. They said it's coming out. Like,
they showed new footage as a part of that initial announcement, so
it looked like a Hollow Knight game, right?
Sure did.
All right. There's not really anything to say. By the time this podcast comes out, I think the big announcement will have happened or be happening, and there'll be more to say then. I don't know.
Yeah. So between that and we might see footage of the demo before then, as people get to play it on the floor at Gamescom.
Did they confirm there's a demo? That would be cool. Like letting normal people
They've been
play
saying that for a couple of weeks now, and then it got confirmed as part of that announcement at the kickoff of the show.
Okay, it's like if they have a real demo, that makes me think this thing is coming real soon. Like maybe not, you know, the shadow drop is copium, but like, you know, October, November.
They said this year, so there are only a few months left.
I guess they can't wait that long, right?
Yeah,
all right,
that's a good point.
There's some other stuff coming in. There were a couple things they dropped in this that I was not even close to anywhere on my radar. Did you guys know that they were making like a He-Man based side-scrolling beat 'em up?
I didn't know until it happened today.
Yeah, I had no idea.
It's Masters of the Universe branded. So it's not even just He-Man, but it's like the straight like Motu like 80s cartoon one, like full on. The sprites look like the TV show. And then it has a subtitle that I didn't write down and forgot about.
Dragon Pearl of something.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Of Destruction, I think.
Okay, believable.
Yeah,
It sounds like an
right.
episode title.
Destruction. Yeah. It looks fun as heck, dude.
Dude,
You know what it reminded me of is the arcade Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games.
Oh yeah, I think I was about to look up if it was the same team that did
style.
Shredder's.
Yep.
Shredder's Revenge.
yeah, I was gonna say, look, if this is what they're gonna do with like old quote unquote, you know, IPs, you know, from our Saturday morning cartoons and stuff, is just like make side-scrolling beat 'em ups out of them. Like, yeah, okay,
Sign me up, right?
yeah, exactly. I think like even if this game is that Shredder's Revenge was pretty well liked, right? Andy, did you and Ken play that? Someone played it.
Oh, I played a lot of it. Ken, Kit, and also Matt all tried it out. I never actually made it all the way through. I know Ken beat it multiple times. The beat 'em up genre is pretty easy for just picking up and putting down. So unfortunately, I did the put it down, and then the other things caught up. But
It had like some progression stuff in it, right? Where it's like you beat it multiple times and your character levels up or whatever.
Yes, it did have that. Like go back and do other stuff. It had like reasons to replay levels, that kind of thing.
Which, feels like a smart evolution of those games, but like honestly, even if it doesn't have that stuff, and it's just like look at He-Man and like what's the
Ela and
Man-at-Arms and those guys, like just watch them go around and beat stuff up for like 4 to 7 hours. Like I'm okay with that.
It's funny you guys mentioned that it looks like Shredder's, and it kind of does, but I wonder if that's the art style. To me, it looked more like Golden Axe.
Okay, yeah, that's one I haven't thought of in a while.
I don't know what that is.
What?
I don't know what. Oh, sorry. Wait. Did you say Golden Axe?
Yeah.
Okay, I heard Gold Max, like
Golden
MAX, and I was
sorry,
what is that?
It's my failing voice.
Oh, okay. Golden Axe, yes, absolutely. I 100% see Golden Axe. I totally see where you're coming from.
I think it just like to me, Shredder's is very modern.
He's got big sprites, man. This guy's like
and Golden Axe
dudes.
Exactly. It looked more like that kind of like Genesis.
Yeah.
Huge, smaller color palette. Beat 'em up.
The Genesis comparison is a really good one because it does look like those like Genesis era beat 'em ups where like the selling point was like, look how big these sprites are.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, it takes up half the screen for like one attack. That's so cool. And it's like, yeah, it is cool. They're right.
Yeah, I mean, Shredder's Revenge looks retro and looks great, but it just to go to Michael's comparison, but it also looks new at the same time, right? Everything's very clean. There's shading in the backgrounds. The backgrounds are like slightly pixelated, but they also have more than 16 or 32 colors. Characters change colors when they do attacks and all sorts of stuff like that. That's like more complicated. And from the little bit of footage I watched of this, it's just more Genesis-y, more static, which is probably what they're going for.
Yeah, it certainly seems like that's the era that they are trying to pay homage to.
Yeah. Also, Limited Run Games is involved in this somehow.
That usually means there's going to be a physical print of it.
I think they're involved in like funding the game too.
Yeah, I think they're straight up the publisher. Like, yeah, they.
It just says, from what I can tell, it just says Mattel and Limited Run Games. So I can't even figure out who did. Oh, here we go.
Bitmap Bureau.
I don't even
which
know.
Is not. I was going to say that is not the company that did Shredders.
No, I don't think the companies are related.
Yeah. Well, there's a hope of quality there with Limited Run involved.
Yeah, I was reading on the internet some people are mad at Limited Run about something at this point, and I just couldn't bother to think or spend any time understanding why. So I was just like, whatever.
What's that? People on the internet were mad?
You never know. It could be something legitimate. I can't keep up anymore. I just physically can't.
Like I said, I couldn't bother to spend the time. But yeah, I thought that game looked rad. I was like, dude, this looks cool. I'm in.
Agreed. I was excited to see that they are giving the Star Wars saga treatment to Lego Batman.
This was the other one I wanted to bring up. Michael, you just played Arkham Asylum, right? Was it Asylum or City?
Asylum is first. Yeah.
Did you notice anything in this trailer?
Oh, I mean, right off the bat, where he's upside down and does the swoop down move to pick someone up, and that it has the echolocation move basically.
I don't know how far you played, but the combat looks like the Arkham combat too.
Oh, it very much does. Yes.
They talked about parries, which is like a thing, or sorry, they talked about counters, which is definitely a thing from that game. They talked about having, gadgets and things like that. And I'm like, oh my God, did they make an Arkham City game with just a Lego skin on top? Oh my God.
That's really what it feels like.
I don't want to get too excited.
But you're kind of excited.
But I'm kind of excited. That's like a really cool idea for a game. And like, you know, it's a Lego game, so it'll have like irreverent humor and, you know, the characters still talk, which was a big mistake, but you know, whatever. Yeah, it looks really cool though. It looks like it's going to be the greatest hits of the Batman movie franchises, which sounds fun.
Absolutely. There's a lot to do with there. And it sounded like it'll be somewhat open world too, the same way they did with the Star Wars one.
Yeah,
Which makes me think that they'll have it and you can run around and explore, and then they'll have story chapter points that you basically touch into and then play your way through.
Which, like, if they have the big open world, that's literally what they did in Arkham City, which was, you know,
Yes, it
a lot
is.
of people's favorite one of those. Not mine. I liked Asylum better, but it is definitely like really good.
Did you catch in there that you'll have your choice of Batmobiles?
Yeah, even in the trailer, they showed multiple different ones, right? They had
Yes,
the Tumblr.
yes, they did.
They had the one from The Batman.
Yep, Keaton's.
Yeah, so I think that's cool, man. Did I catch they had a Robert Pattinson one? They did a scene from that movie too?
Did it look like a Hot Wheels hot rod?
Kinda.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
there
probably
was
the
a
Robert
scene from
Pattinson one.
his.
And there's definitely Danny DeVito Penguin. There was Joker, multiple different Jokers that they showed. So, you know, Bane was in there, of course. Yeah, dude, super cool. I was like completely out of left field. I think it's a great idea, and it's specifically a Batman game and not like a pseudo Justice League game or whatever like they've done in the past, which I think is like a big benefit.
Yes, wise choice.
Another one out of left field, for me anyway, given some stuff maybe we'll talk about in a little bit, is that they announced another Dawn of War, Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 4.
I'm not plugged in to the RTS as much as we used to be, but this seems very out of left field.
So Dawn of War 3 didn't do good.
No, it has pretty bad reviews.
Yeah, it seemed like it did quite bad, and it attempted to split the difference between Dawn of War 2 and Dawn of War 1, and it apparently didn't do that very well and just wasn't a very good game.
Hold on. Michael doesn't know the difference between Dawn of War 2 and Dawn of War 1.
No, you'll have to enlighten me.
So, go ahead.
Go ahead, JJ. You start, and I'll clean up if I need to.
Dawn of War 1 is an RTS, right? You build a base, you build units, you control, select across your map, you click on the other guys, they all fight, right?
Red alert.
Sure. Yep, standard fare.
It does have more than like, I would say it's almost closer in some ways to like, it's between Warcraft 3 and Red Alert, right? Where like, if you know anything about the old RTS genre, right? Warcraft 3 is all about heroes, and they have like really powerful abilities, and they basically like matter more than all your units, right? But even your regular units in Warcraft 3 eventually get little abilities that do stuff. Dawn of War 1 is kind of like that, but not quite as much. There are heroes. How much do they matter? Like, not really. Like, in the campaign, they're a big deal, but like in the skirmish, they don't exist. But all your units do kind of have stuff, right? It's like, oh, the Imperial Guardsmen all have like, you can upgrade them with leaders and give them different weapons. And, you know, oh, I'm going to give these guys grenades and these guys plasma guns, and those do different things, and that matters if you know what you're doing, right?
Okay, yep.
Dawn of War 1, you know, but really fundamentally it's about building units and, you know, building a base and building all those things, upgrading up a tech tree, and then like attacking, right? Dawn of War 2 is much closer to that Warcraft 3, where it's like, okay, you're going to have like 4 squads because you're not allowed to have more. And then you're going to upgrade the crap out of these guys with like items and weapons and armor and, you know, little seals that give them +5 attack or whatever. And
StarCraft story missions.
Okay.
Totally.
Where you just have your hero units and the squad. And even more than that, probably. Like,
yeah.
Because even the squads get upgrades and stuff like that. I'm trying to think of another game that is more similar.
It's truthfully, it's closer to like Company of Heroes. If you ever played that game, which is like, it's not really an RTS. It's a real-time game, but you really control like just a few little guys, and you kind of got to move them around across the map. And this guy's the guy that diffuses bombs, and this guy's the guy that plants explosives, and this is the guy that has a sniper rifle, and you got to kind of like move yourself around, and do stuff on the map, right?
Okay.
In this case, it's like, well, the one guy that diffuses bombs is like 6 guys. But that's kind of the idea, right? But really, truthfully, Dawn of War 2 is a lot more about like getting gear and, getting relics and equipping your guys with all this stuff and then upgrading their abilities so they have access to more spells and more attacks and, more powerful weapons and yada yada. Where Dawn of War 1, you can just build another unit of troops. I'll build a second tank. It's not a problem. Not doing that so much in Dawn of War 2. And then I don't know what Dawn of War 3 was because I did not play it, and I saw it got horrible reviews, like Andy was saying. And people were saying it tried to split the difference between those two somehow, and it just sounds like everyone hated it.
Worst of both worlds?
Maybe, yeah. But this new game, which they previewed at Gamescom, sounds like, from the pictures they showed, which, not final, yada yada, first off, it's not from Relic. So this is a different developer, Andy. Relic made those other 3 games, not this one.
Relic made all of them?
I think so.
Okay. I didn't know if maybe the Dawn of War 3 problem came from a Switch developer, but yeah, Relic's been out there. Are they not? Okay, who did it instead?
So this new developer is one I had never heard of, but apparently they made a game called... ooh, damn it, I didn't write it down. It's like Hearts of Steel or something like that. A relatively well-regarded RTS tactics game.
That's hard to get more regarded than Relic. Relic's Company of Heroes, like you said, Dawn of War, and Homeworld. I don't know how you do better than those.
Well, Relic didn't make this, so that's all I got for you.
That's crazy.
But this, I think also people have been, the thing I read was that Relic has another game that they'd already announced. So it's possible.
Age of Empires.
No, a homegrown one, like not an IP, like their own thing. But I think they also did work on the Age of Empires thing, which was announced here.
But they're
also
not working on the next Age of Empires? Okay.
Well, they might be. I don't know.
Else, right? Are they doing another Company of Heroes or something?
Could be. But this other tactics game that this company made definitely was like, yo, it's an RTS, not a like, yo, it's a squad game. So I think that was like something that a lot of people really latched onto. In the screenshots and stuff they showed, like there were like, 20 guys along the bottom that you could select.
Okay.
Which is definitely leaning more towards the RTS side of it. I think they've said there are going to be 4 factions. You're going to get the Blood Ravens, which are the Space Marines, the self-insert characters of these games, the Orcs, the Necrons, who showed up in some of the DLC in both 1 and 2, I think, right? I think that's right. And
I don't know if Necrons were in 1. I know they were in 2, and they didn't have DLC for 3, I don't think.
You're correct about that. They definitely showed up in DLC in 1. I don't know about 2. And the 4th faction that they have named is the Adeptus Mechanicus, who have not shown up in any of the previous versions that I'm aware of.
We're living through a strange time where you and I grew up, and the Mechanicus was such a small piece of the Imperium that like they were just sort of a footnote in other armies' stories. And now they're like, what if there was just like a sub-faction of the Imperium that just was its own thing entirely and basically is another army?
Yep, that's exactly how it's gone.
So strange.
It used to just be, you had I'm going to get a tech priest for my Space Marine army, or I'm going to get a repair guy for my tanks or whatever for the guards. But like, no, now it's like they have their whole own army codex and everything. They're a whole separate thing.
I'm not hating on it. It's just getting older is strange.
Yeah, and they have I saw in the comments on this thing a bunch of people being like super excited because it meant there would be a bunch of new stuff that has never shown up in these games before, because Mechanicus has its own whole situation, right?
Does the game footage, or did they announce a scale to this level? Like, Michael, I don't know if you know, but like Warhammer 40K itself, the tabletop game even has like scales of level of play, where like you can play squad based games like Dawn of War 2. You can play bigger games with like tanks and like jets and things like that. And then you can like get to the point that you basically don't even play with troops anymore because they're too small in scale for like the Titans and the Mega Titans and the spaceships and this and that and the other thing.
So they haven't the screens, they haven't talked, I haven't seen a ton of footage out there, but the screens they showed troops and tanks and dreadnoughts and stuff being like, selected and moved around on a screen.
So normal, like 1,500 point army.
Yeah, I don't know from the Warhammer side scale what you're talking about, but like, all the things you would get in an RTS, right? But notably, no Chaos and no Eldar, both of which who have been in all the versions of Dawn of War so far, I think.
Got to get people to buy DLC somehow.
Yeah, of course, that's the correct thought, is that like, well, those are going to be the DLC factions.
Yep, they know what people want.
We'll see. I came out of left field for me. I thought it was super cool. And I think the other thing that really surprised me about it is that it came on the heels of a Dawn of War 1 Definitive Edition remaster that came out like a week ago.
Yeah. It seems like it was timed on purpose at a certain point here.
You are absolutely correct. It must be on purpose, yes.
And there's a huge sale to go along with that, where like you could buy Dawn of War 2 or 3 for 80% off, and you even get a discount on the new game if you own the old game.
Yeah, so the discount on the new game is if you own Dawn of War 1 Anniversary or whatever that is. The original version of Dawn of War 1 that includes all the DLC, you get this game for 30% off, basically. And the game is not that expensive to start out with. I think if the 30% off price is like $18 or something.
Correct.
So that's pretty inexpensive as these things go. And that is the entire first game. All the campaigns, so the original campaign and 3 expansions that it got, I believe. All updated to run in higher resolutions and 64-bit, and fixes all the widescreen and all the stuff that was like problematic about the original games. And I can tell you because I played some of that, and it's pretty great, man. It's
man,
fun.
you buried the lead here. You played Dawn of War 1?
Yeah, I did.
How great is it when those buildings fall in from space?
It's pretty good. I'll tell you, I actually completed the entire first campaign for Dawn of War 1, the original game campaign.
My recollection is you had to play through each race's story in order. Is that not correct?
So I don't know. I played the original campaign, and I don't think I saw an option to switch to the other races.
Okay, so you had to play as Imperium in the first game.
Yeah. In the expansion, the first expansion, there's Order and then there's Disorder, and so you can select between those two. If you want to play Order, you get Imperial Guard and Eldar, and you play Disorder, you get, I think, Orcs and Chaos.
Yeah. I remember that being pretty unique. Of 20, not 20, but I don't know, a solid 10 years before that, you could play StarCraft out of order, right? Even if you
Warcraft 3, right?
In Warcraft 3, you could play it out of order. They told you what order you should play it in,
But you didn't have to.
Right.
but they told you to play it out of order or to play it in order, but you could play it whatever. This game launched and was good, first of all, got good reviews, and then everyone was like, by the way, there's one story and one race to play.
Yeah. I think the interesting thing is that, like, I think the campaign in Dawn of War 1, the original campaign, is kind of like standard Space Marine stuff, you know. You fight some orcs, and then you fight some chaos, and then you fight yourself, and then you fight the orcs and chaos again, and then you win, right? Like, it's no spoilers there. But
hold on. You never win, JJ.
But there is only war. You're correct.
Yeah.
You know, you get to the end of the campaign, I guess I'll say.
Okay.
But it is really fun. And, you know, look, they have, like, I think their difficulty levels in the first game are kind of weird. It's like normal is easy, and then I forget, the level above that is hard, and then the level above that is like extreme or something. I just played it all on normal. It wasn't that tough. You could just deathball your way around the map and just win. But you know what? That's fun. It's fun to just build 15 dreadnoughts and have them walk across the map and annihilate everything. Like, this is a good time.
Yes. Uh-huh. And you don't have to feel bad that you're beating up on your friend across the tabletop.
Yeah. It's like, do I want to just wait and defend here until I have 6 Lehman Russ tanks and they just roll over the map? Yes. Yes, I do want to do that. I don't care if it just means I just wait for 30 minutes. But at the end of it, they're not going to have a chance. And they didn't. It was awesome. How many Land Raiders can I fit in my vehicle cap, you know?
Oh, yeah, caps. I forgot about that.
Yeah, which is very much like a Warcraft, Starcraft thing, where it's like, oh, you can't build more troops than this until you build more buildings or whatever.
Well, I mean, Michael knows about Supply Depot or supply.
Yeah, your resource limitations, sure.
Yeah, so you got people limitations and vehicle limitations, and they're separate. So if you want to build more tanks, you got to build more vehicle stuff to get you space to build more tanks until you eventually max out, and then they're like, no more tanks for you. And then you have to go attack because there's nothing else to do.
Oh, well, guess I got to do it now.
It's a good way to force you to play the game.
And then, you know, look, all your tanks have little upgrades on them. It's like, ooh, do I want a dual las cannon on this one? Yeah. Ooh, can I get a Hellfire missiles on here? Yeah. Okay.
I know that it doesn't really capture 40K because you don't have buildings in playing 40K, but it definitely captured the tinkering with everything. Like, oh yeah, my tank's weird because it has side pods of las cannons, and everyone's like, why'd you do that? Las cannon side pods are weird and suck. It's like, yeah, but it's my tank, and I decided to build it this way.
Yeah, it definitely has a lot of that feel. It's like, oh, well, I put 3 flamers on this tank. It's like, instead of the main gun? Yeah.
Yeah,
but
hope
why?
You're playing against Eldar.
But why? It's like, cuz. It's not quite that bad, but it definitely gives you a lot of tinkering. It's like, oh, okay, well, like this troop has all the grenade launchers, and this one has all the, you know, the rocket launchers, and this one has all the lasers, and you know, it's very much fun to tinker with the squads in that way. So, really fun game, man. For $18, this is like the steal of the century, dude.
Great deal.
Yeah. You know, I think that's kind of what we've been up to. Do you guys have anything else you want to throw in here before we go?
The whiskey isn't helping as much as I hoped.
All right, well, we need to save Andy's voice. So
wrap this up then.
Michael, how can people get at us if they feel
if they want to talk? If they want to send Andy their favorite cold remedy, they can send that to podcast@weweregamers.com. He will appreciate them all.
Okay, I've got like 3 different flavors of Ricola, so leave that out of the email.
Anything else is fair game.
If you've done a Ricola taste test and want to tell us about it, though, podcast@weweregamers.com.
A Ricola vertical.
I have to email myself.
We're trying to get engagement, Andy. Come on.
Okay, I'm sorry. We can argue about which flavor's best, so send the email.
Yes. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/@weweregamers. Check us out on there, folks. Thanks for joining us.